Over 5 trillion naira accrues into the Federation account in 6 months, says Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. President Tinubu addresses 78th United Nations General Assembly, advocates universal sanction for companies and persons illegally smuggling arms and minerals into and out of Africa. Oil falls more than $1 ahead of federal rate decision. Plus, today's episode takes a look at ease of doing business in Nigeria. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I'm Musa Abubakar, your guide. Now let's bring you up to speed with business development. Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission says that the total sum of 5,244,636,561 naira 60 kobo has accrued into the Federation account for the period of January to June 2023. In a press statement signed by the Commission's Chairman, Mohammed Bello Shehu, indicates that the amount is captured in the monthly report to the Federation Account Allocation Committee by the Central Bank of Nigeria under the caption CBN Federation Account Component Statements. The chairman explained that out of the total gross revenue inflows into the Federation account, the sum of 627.3 billion naira was NMPC LGV petroleum profit tax due captured and recorded by the FIRS, but utilized by the NNPCL for other federal government obligations. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission remitted the sum of 823.5 billion naira, while the Federal Inland Revenue Service made a gross collection of 3.6 trillion naira, but remitted 3.028 trillion, retaining the difference as cost of collection. The statement further disclosed that the Nigeria Customs Service, on its part, remitted the sum of 764.6 billion naira. It, however, added that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited did not remit any amount into the Federation account during the period, either as profit revenue or other revenues as contained in the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, as its revenue performance could not be assessed because neither its revenue target was disclosed nor its revenue remittance to the Federation account was provided. The sum of 1.490 trillion naira was realized as value-added tax, while the sum of 83.024 billion naira was realized from the electronic money transfer levy, from which the sum of 3.3 billion naira was paid to FIRS as cost of collection. Now, President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday in New York City addressed world leaders at the 78th United Nations General Assembly, during which he made a firm and compelling declaration that the time is now for UN member states to show with their actions that they mean what they say concerning the crackdown on terror, finance and economic sabotage and illicit mineral and and arms smuggling in the developing world. He further noted that his aggressive economic development diplomatic push for new investment has been demonstrably effective in presenting Nigeria as business ready. But the ease of doing business, according to the president, might not be the major encumbrance to large-scale investment.
Community. The question is not whether Nigeria is open for business. The question is how much of the world is truly open to doing business with Nigeria, and how African is an equal, mutually beneficial manner. Direct investment in critical industries, opening airports to a wider range and larger quantity of African exports, and meaningful debt relief are important aspects of the cooperation we seek.
Now with me to kickstart the conversation on the ease of doing business are experts in the field of investments and economic development. And we will be looking at how friendly the Nigerian business environment is, particularly after President Tinubu's address at the 78th UNGA, where he noted that his aggressive economic development push has been effective in presenting Nigeria as a business ready. Despite this positive development, there are still concerns over the ease of doing business in the country, especially for large-scale investments. So what are the challenges and opportunities in Nigeria's business environment, and what kind of policy interventions are needed to create a more enabling environment for business growth and development? We'll be discussing all of this and more with our esteemed guest. Live in the studio is Sani Garba, CEO of Business Visa and Training. He's also an international promoter of Made in Nigeria goods. And joining us via Zoom from Lagos is Dr. Obiora Madu. He is the chairman, Governing Council Institute of Soft Skills and Vocational Development of Nigeria. Well, gentlemen, welcome to both of you to Business Express as well.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's begin with Sani Gwarzo, who is with me here in the studio. Well, what do you make of, let me just have the opinion of both of you. What do you make of the President's speech at the United Nations General Assembly? Let's start with Sani Garba.
Well, thank you very much. And you see, there is a word of caution in what we declared as readiness. I don't know how he got his data, what is happening at home, and what is needed to be done. You have to have a knowledge of what is on the ground before you come with a proper solution on how to tackle it. And when you said business, right, yeah, business is a global name, it's a general name. Is there some sectors that he is specifically interested in, that he has already earmarked, or that he has been briefed on the actual happenings and how he intends to do it? So I believe businesses are done by private individuals or companies. Looking back home, who are the game players? Who are those ones who are in the game, in the business sectors?
Actually, the president said Nigeria is ready for business. What do you make of it? Are we ready for business?
Well, there are some policies. That's why I said if we are really ready, we need to know what is on ground and what are his focus of business that he's targeting to actually make it a success.
Okay, from what he actually said, trying to lure foreign investors, I mean, people coming with their hard-earned money to invest in the country, and which Nigeria needs this money and also the jobs that this investment will be provided. But let me pick on the let me talk to Dr. Modu. Dr. Modu, what do you make of the president's speech at the United Nations General Assembly? Dr. Modo, I'm afraid your audio is, you need to unmute your audio there.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, beautiful.
That was, are you hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, it was a good speech, in quotes, because the last speaker talked about a lot of things. It is not to invite these things to come in. It is what they meet when they come here that is the issue. This environment, how is it treating those who are already doing business here? Because that is what is going to justify other people from coming in. If you have a situation where big companies like GSK and the rest of them have announced that they are leaving, while others are leaving quietly without making an announcement, how do you justify your call for people? I think the first thing we need to do is to come home and get the environment right. It doesn't work by campaign, because companies will do an analysis of several locations before they go to do business. And I can tell you that right now, we are not the best location.
Okay, so what do we need to do to really be the, in the right position to do business with the outside world? And considering the fact that Mr. President made ease of doing business as well as access to capital one of his priority areas.
I think it was also a priority to the previous government.
Okay.
And we didn't get much out of it. You see, policy statements are one thing. Implementation is the other thing. For example, if you talk about doing business with the international community, look at your ports. Today, you rate at 110 over 160 in the Logistics Performance Index of the World Bank. You rate 131 out of 169 of the ease of doing business. So it just can't work. For example, the regulatory framework, the infrastructure, okay, both hard and soft.
Okay.
And a whole lot, the documentation of doing business, in fact, some regulatory agencies are rather killing businesses rather than facilitating it.
Absolutely.
So these are part of the challenges that businesses face. You need to talk to, as far as I'm concerned, anybody who is running a business in Nigeria and is still open, he has tried.
Okay.
The challenge is a whole lot.
Okay, let's go to Garba. You are an international businessman. And what do you make of the president's part of his 8-point agenda to prioritize ease of doing business?
Yes, it's a good motivation and willingness to bring in other businesses into the country. And him being the president, number one, and he has executive powers. So I think that will make him to know the actual happenings on ground and what to be considered and the right policies in places. And looking at also back home, those ones that are already in existence. What are the benefits that comes to the country? Look at a company in Kaduna, a very big company, Shonen Tax, over 50 billion recently discovered. They are still, the issue is still, on the table, they're tackling the issue. So if you look at all those bigger companies that are already existing, how do the government is benefiting from their businesses? What are the policies that pave ways for Nigerians to also benefit? So if you don't have all these details, I doubt much, maybe we'll just open doors for them and allow them to come and do things their own ways.
Okay, Mr. Garba, you're a businessman. What's your experience? Tell us about your experience in terms of doing business in Nigeria.
Yeah, my experience is that the government involvement is really is needed to be maybe if we should open it up, there are a whole lot of informal ways that are currently taking places, which government is not involved. Like I always said, you see business guys come in here, buy what they want to, identify what they want, and looking at Nigeria, at having unique products, that the world has no clue that we have those unique products and their own standards. We should champion that. We should bring them in and also come up with a standard pricing. That pricing really matters. You can't bring in somebody and you'll be asking him to make you an offer of the prices. You should have a standard, a regulatory standard of pricing items, which we don't have here. People just negotiate and tell you, this is what I'm willing to pay, leave it, or you buy it. And also creating a standard that we don't need that standard. Their own standard is quite lower than our own standard that we have here. Most of the things we farm here, you see, like the farm produce, basically, if you look at those items, some of them grows wild, meaning that they are growing in their own natural habitat. So that gives you 100% assurance that it's organic. And it is different from the organic we used to see out there, which is modified under a green roof. So you should ask for fortune for that. Okay. And also we should come up with standard, our own standard, Nigerian standard, identifying the quality of our own products. They have been taking products from us, and the way we do send this product to them, we refuse to admit their own laboratory standard, and which they refuse even to share with us in most cases. So what we did differently is to give them samples of our own products, take it there. And I tell you, anytime we take those products out there, they don't come back with the answers. They only come back with more demand. How can we get this more? How can we get this more? And we're still battling to have doubt on our products and not to come up with a standard.
Doctor, let me go to Dr. Madu. Dr. Madu, President Tinubu's economic development push has been received positively by the international community. In your opinion, what specific measures should be taken to attract foreign investment, and how will this impact the ease of doing business in Nigeria?
I think the first thing is that our integrity quotient in the international market is very low. And that is the very, very first thing we have to do. That is what is going to present us as an investment destination. My friend just talked about this question of our commodities. Our commodities, there is absolutely nothing wrong with our commodities. Our commodities are one of the best. Nigerian cocoa is one of the best. Nigerian ginger has a specialty oil which no other ginger has in the world. But the point is that, just like he said, it is because of our position. We are permanently bargaining from a weak position, which is not supposed to be the case. It's not supposed to be the case. People dictate for us the price. We shall sell them items that are not there. So it's about prioritizing. But if you ask me, this integrity thing is very, very important. That way, because right now, people in international business have issues. You call a company and you say, where are you calling from? The moment you mention that you're calling from Nigeria, already they take a very serious position and they start watching you closely and using magnifying glasses to read what you write. So, government will deliberately market Nigeria. I think by his speeches at various fora, he's trying to bring that up. But there have to be a deliberate plan. Our embassies need to have people, commercial attaches, just like other countries. They have commercial attaches, they have commercial counsel in one country. And go and find out whether you have commercial people in most of the Nigerian embassies. So that is part of what we need to do. We need to sell ourselves. Nobody will say, that you are here, except you announce that you are there.
Okay,
So
you're talking about selling ourselves. What opportunities does Nigeria market offer for foreign investors, and which, in your own opinion, which of the sectors hold the most potential for investment?
Look, we have solid mineral. The agri sector, for example, one Brazilian who is doing pineapple export from Southeast. Pineapple is something that we can earn good money if we have the right environment. So agriculture is there, and then, of course, a solid mineral. And then other areas, power and the rest of them, there are opportunities in this land. But the fact is that the cost of doing business, I've spoken to an outsourcing company that want to come into Nigeria, but when they calculated all that, they kept harping on power, and they eventually end up not coming.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Garba, from your own experience, you made mention of issue of standards. Which other areas do you think we need to actually, this government need to address to see how we can standardize our goods so that other countries will take advantage of those things that we have?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, honestly, if we are being consulted, even his trip, if he's going, he should go along with business people like us to back him up, so that we'll do the follow-up and we'll ask them specifically what do they want.
This trip is UN General Assembly. It's,
no, there is a section.
Those things happen on the sidelines and
yes,
things like that.
Yes, the section that it happens at the sideline.
Let's just focus on those areas you think they need to strengthen.
The areas
to make your business flourish.
Sorry?
Let's focus on those areas the government need to come in so that you can take advantage of the market out there.
Okay, fine. You see, if we need to take advantage of markets out there, we should, all the markets, they have their own different spec. If it's American market we are targeting, it has its own spec.
Then what should Nigerian government do to help you access those markets?
Fine, is to set up a facility that will access those facilities, which will give us a free flow, a clean environment that we can now get those standardizations to meet up those requirements that is needed out there. And if government shouldn't be putting those facilities in the in the government agencies' hands, it should be in the private individuals' hand. Let us manage it. We are doing business. It's not hidden, so that they will know what we are doing. They have provide, like the incubation centers they used to venture into, as reservoirs, storage facilities. If it's all managed by individuals or private companies, we know that we are...
I'm afraid we somehow, the time is somehow short for us to, I believe this conversation will continue, but closing, just give me just a sentence. What do you think we need to really, what do you think the government should put in place to really address most of these things and make us ready for business out there? Let's start with Dr. Maudu.
Thank you very much. One of the things that is required, particularly for our export, is the quality infrastructure.
Okay.
That our beans is rejected in Europe, not because any beans, it's because of the residue of chemicals that is in it when it got there. So Dr. Garba was talking about standardization. So we need a solid, infrastructure for quality, so that there will be no doubt about our products when it gets to any of the countries. Thank you.
Okay. Garba.
Yes, and also the laboratories, the agencies that are actually involved in looking at what the processes are to give you a certification for that. Some of them, you see, mostly they have no much facilities to even rate your product, to make recommendations. Despite this process goes through agencies, but then you wonder why does it has to pass all those agencies and return back.
Thank you very much.
Something has happened elsewhere.
Thank you very much. This is an ongoing conversation as it will continue. Thank you for having the both of you on our studios. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
My pleasure.
Now, the need to break the gender barrier affecting women and girls in society and address gender equality issues on the table at the 2023 second edition of the New Faces, New Voices, Women in Finance National Roundtable Summit held in Abuja. Bosideba reports.
Nigeria's gross domestic product is projected to grow better if only women contribute to economic activities as much as their male counterparts. This view being held is the reason for this gathering as they strategize on way forward for economic development.
It is imperative that we address this gap head-on to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly Goal 5, Gender Equality, and Goal 8, Decent Work and Economic Growth.
The World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Score for 2023 showed an improvement of 0.3% scored compared to last year. Though the improvement may be small, but it is an indication that something is being done about it.
Closing the gender wealth gap, strategies for achieving economic inclusion will provide new opportunities for women entrepreneurs to access markets and funding, all aimed at finding workable solutions to bridging the gap.
We cannot blame other people for our disadvantage. We have to find the answers and go and work it.
Women entrepreneurs in the non-oil sector are therefore encouraged to take advantage of the facilities provided by NEPC to enhance their export business.
We have the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Fund, which has over 60% of the fund has been deployed to female-owned businesses.
With the renewed hope of the Tinubu administration, these women are certain and committed to work towards a fair and equitable world where both men and women can enjoy full rights and achieve their full potentials in all spheres of life. In Abuja, Bosideba.
But that's it. Business Express returns Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Thanks for watching. Do have a beautiful day.